Mr. Nunes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Administrator, just in response to Mr. Ryan's question, we went through the website, and we don't see anywhere where it shows that if you're under 26 that there's a verification.
So let me also say one thing that I had wrong. As a young adult, you can stay on your parents' policy, and you can get your coverage that way.
Right, but the question was there was no check on the subsidy.
Or you may go as an individual and you'd be eligible for a subsidy.
So if you're 26, you're under the age of 26,
you can go either way.
Mr. Ryan's point, you can get a free subsidy and get that back on your tax return. That was the point Mr. Ryan was making. And
you're eligible for a subsidy, yes.
You're eligible, so you can be on your parents' health care, and you're still eligible for the subsidy.
But I'll remind you, part of what you complete on the application is, do you have coverage? You're also under penalty of perjury. So you have to tell the truth on your application. That's kind of a requirement.
Okay, let me, in your submitted testimony, you attributed the problems to healthcare.gov website to a subset of contractors. Is that correct?
I don't think I said that it was due to a subset of contractors. I said we had two issues that we were dealing with. The first was capacity, and that our first few days, the volume was more than we anticipated, so we had to add capacity. We had a problem with account creation, with the email account creation, which was subsequently fixed.
So on your August 1st testimony to the House Energy and Commerce Committee, to Congressman Pitt's question, do you remember this question?
You'll have to ask the question.
He asked, and I quote, do the contractors who HHS is paying to build these exchanges have certain targets or milestones that they have to meet? You replied, absolutely. Congressman Pitts then asked you, can you tell us today that every contractor has met these targets and is on time? You replied, yes, sir, I can. So it seems there are two possibilities here. First, the exchanges were progressing fine for years, just as you repeatedly told Congress, and the breakdown resulted solely from problems with a few contractors that suddenly occurred 60 days before Obamacare was open to the public. Or the second possibility is that there were problems much earlier that were being reported in the press, but you did not tell Congress about these. Which is closest to the truth?
If I remember the questions correctly, what Congressman Pitts was asking me related to the hub. And the hub was progressing on time and on schedule. It still is. The hub has actually operated pretty much flawlessly, and most of the questions were around the hub.
So it's been also reported that neither criminal background checks nor high school diplomas will be required for so-called navigators to be hired to help Americans access the exchanges. Is this true?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Neither high school diplomas nor criminal background checks will be done on the folks that you hire to help Americans navigate the Obamacare website.
I don't think that that's true. You're talking about through the Navigator program. There are standards, and I can get you those standards.
Okay. Well, it's been a press report. Has anyone in the White House or anyone else asked you to delay divulging enrollment numbers as it regards to Mr. Camp's question at the beginning?
No. I think if you remember, we had said all along that we were going to release our first numbers in the middle of November.
So no one at the White House, no one in the entire Obama administration has asked you not to release those numbers?
We have made we made the decision that we were not releasing the numbers to mid-November.
But you don't know, you have no idea what those numbers are at this point?
I told you we would release the numbers in mid-November.
Okay, I'll take that as you don't want to answer the question. Did you ever argue to Secretary Sebelius or to anyone at the White House or to anyone else that the exchanges would not be ready October 1st and that a delay in launching them would be warranted?
I did not ever argue that we should delay the exchanges. What I did present to the Secretary in September is that there were certain functions that we should delay beyond October 1, and I think those have been very much in the press. That had to do with the automation of SHOP. It had to do with the Spanish language website. It had to do with Medicaid account transfers. So that was presented in September as things we would not bring live October 1.
Before my time expires, I want to yield quickly just 30 seconds, Mr. Ryan.
Look, I find it puzzling we have to explain to administration officials how the law works. The law is if you are under the age of 26 and you are eligible to stay in your parents' plans, you cannot receive subsidies.
You're right.
And there is nothing on your website that tells an under 26-year-old those facts. So you're encouraging people to sign up for insurance and a subsidy that they may not be eligible for, and they don't even know this.
Congressman Ryan, I'm happy to go back and check on that and get you information.
All right,
Yield
thank
back.
you. Time has expired. Mr. Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think one of the differences here